Well, we are entering CPTPP, which is the Trans-Pacific Partnership Trade Deal with Asian countries, but also Canada, Mexico, Australia. And it's going to be amazing.
So amazing, in fact, that Rishi Sunak's government that she was part of predicted the post-Brexit trade deal would grow the economy by a tiny 0.08%. And if that wasn't bad enough, it later emerged that even that may be an overestimate, according to the then government's own documents. And that was after 15 years of membership. Now contrast that tiny predicted benefit with the OBR, that's the Office for Budget Responsibility, having just confirmed a 4% reduction in the UK's potential GDP, is still their assumption regarding the long-run impact of Brexit. So if, as the Conservative Party leader says,
it's going to be amazing.
Heaven help us all.
The CPTPP deal, which I negotiated.
Well, no arguments from me on that one.
We should be striking more free trade agreements. We have one with the EU. It is working well.
In fact, it's working so well, the Governor of the Bank of England has just warned that Brexit has undermined the UK's economy. And that's an understatement given the OBR report the current government is relying on in its recent budget says this. Weak growth in imports and exports over the medium term partly reflect the continuing impact of Brexit, which we expect to reduce the overall trade intensity of the UK economy by 15% in the long term. It's a staggering reduction in the potential economic performance of the country at a time when every penny counts.
And we need to be able to make sure that we get our food into the markets across the world because it's of the highest quality. The key thing is to make sure that you sign a deal that works for both countries, not one that is lopsided. And I think that only Conservatives will do that.
Seriously? Let's remind ourselves of the trade deal the last Conservative government struck with New Zealand.
British farmers have reacted with shock to the terms of a new free trade deal with New Zealand.
The deal will see Kiwi meat imported without tariffs, and farmers in the UK say they get nothing in return.
A world away from rejoicing Kiwi farmers, their Wally-wearing counterparts feel as though they are the sacrificial lambs of the free trade deal.
We're not competing on a level playing field. It's us surrendering to you, New Zealanders, and giving you a great deal, and we're getting nothing out of it.
The impact on Britain's economy is expected to be negligible.
And then there was that trade deal with Australia.
I was in the Cabinet in 2021, and I was in this Cabinet subcommittee that argued over the Australian trade deal. For yes, there were deep arguments and differences over how we should approach this. But since I now enjoy the freedom of the backbenches, I no longer have to put such a positive gloss on what was agreed. The first step is to recognise that the Australia trade deal is not actually a very good deal for the UK. The truth of the matter is that the UK gave away far too much for far too little in return.
How hard can it be for UK news shows to actually point all this out to viewers?